And just like that, we go from everybody saying we're in the era of boring champions to a welterweight super fight that everybody's gonna lose their minds over. Narratives in this sport are about as long as Corey McKenna's arms. I looked it up, I think she has the shortest reach in UFC history. Anyway, let me start off by saying real quick here, every single one of you need to put respect on Belal Muhammad's name after that one. That fight was awesome, and you were wrong about it. Fantastic scrap all around, had a blast watching it, and I know you did too. Man, JDM put on the exact fight he needed to, not just to win, but to set up his future. He was able to handle the grappling pressure, won more of the striking exchanges, and I thought he fought a really smart fight. He didn't let himself get put into too many bad spots. Not only is he the new champ, but he couldn't have done better with that setup at the end on the microphone. It didn't need to be this big drama show. It was so simple. Go out there and have an all-time enjoyable welterweight title bout, win the championship, and then immediately call out Islam for a super fight. But not only did he call him out, I mean, not that he had much of a choice. This whole entire event was almost kind of sold on the idea that if JDM won, we're getting welterweight Islam for gold. I mean, DC literally asked him about it, but he accepted it. He didn't do a GDR or something. And what I really liked is that he tied it into the 2 fights with Alexander Volkanovski. Jack Della's gonna do it for Volk. This is like John Wick with the puppy. That is the kind of stakes I want in my title fights. And on top of it, Islam is gonna be competing for a second title in a second division. I am so damn in. This is peak cage fighting right here. This is the kind of shit that makes all those mindless Apex cards worth it. And the intrigue over the matchup itself is perfect, especially after the fight last night. JDM was able to handle that pressure from Belal. So what does a fight with Islam look like? Now, I honestly don't know. Sure, he's dominant at 155, but he's got to bump up to 170 now and fight Giacomo? Dude is a big guy. And no, he couldn't put away Belal, but for about 8 years now, his chin has been granite, so Maddalena not getting the stop there like he has so many other times in his very brief UFC tenure doesn't exclude that threat from the upcoming super fight. I say that word because we're talking about 2 champions fighting each other. Obviously, I'm not saying this is Islam, Volk, or GSP Penn, but it's still a whole bunch of fun, and during a time period where there aren't a ton of these types of fights lingering around. I'm in, man. Fully in. Perfect fight last night for JDM to set that up. Welterweight has a ton of potentially really exciting title fights ahead, because the winner there, whoever it might be, well, first of all, if it's Jack, holy shit, you just beat Islam Makhachev, so any fight will be a big deal. And if Islam is double champ, defending against whatever big name, Brady, Shavkat, Ian Gary, dude, welterweight is a blast right now. When divisions have interesting contenders and interesting champions, UFC is good times. Man, Jack Della's got life by the absolute balls at the moment. 28 years old, UFC champion in under 10 promotional bouts, exciting fan-friendly style, interesting matchups ahead of him. You couldn't ask for much more as a fighter, and it all came together for him, as John Anik so perfectly stated, because the calendar was right. The UFC needed him for this title fight because they had to fill out this event. I mean, it wasn't looking really great for them, but their clusterfuck of a schedule was to Jack's benefit. It's funny how your whole career in this sport can sometimes be made or broken by the most random of forces. Never let anybody tell you they earned what they've got, kids. They did. They totally did, but they also had a massive amount of luck to accompany them. Man, I hate that Belal is gonna have to win like 5 more fights just to get another shot at the title, because I know the UFC is going to avoid that at all costs, but I do look forward to him beating your favorite fighter next time he steps into the cage. Look, jokes aside, I say this of every one and done champion. That label, UFC champion, never goes away. For the rest of his life, Belal is someone that won a UFC title. It's for life. And that was easily one of the better welterweight title fights we've ever had, so dude's got nothing to be ashamed of. But alright, enough of the welterweight fun, because believe it or not, other things happened on this card last night. Of course, the other big one on the card was the flyweight matchup, and man, what a solid damn fight between Valentina Shevchenko and Manop Fior. Fantastic scrap. What a blast. It is insane to me that Valentina has been the title picture at flyweight for 7 years. Essentially since its inception. That is her division forever. Her run at 125 is one of the great reigns this sport has ever produced. Say what you want about the level of competition that she faced in some of her defenses, but you'll see that in so many great champions. She's fighting the flyweights that got the shots. There's nobody she was ducking. There's no question mark. She's the best flyweight in the world. And then to finish her trilogy with Grasso, which just got better each time, loss, draw, win, she gets the gold back, and then to defend against the very clearly next best in the division, survive that really tough fight. That's the kind of stuff that separates you from most of the other champions. All-time great gold holder. It would take another 7 years at least of dominance for anybody to ever be considered on her level in that division. I don't know what her plans are after all this, but can you imagine if she beats Natalia Silva next too? Just a stupid run. One of of the best champions the UFC has ever had. Now, I know there was a lot of shit talked about this card beforehand, and I do understand, but it was definitely one of those ones that, given the fights at the top, it worked out. This was not a bad night at all. They absolutely delivered, and it deserves a proper breakdown by the numbers. So let's do that and hand out some awards to these folks, shall we? The UFC's first trip to Montreal in a decade, 10 years. Can you imagine? You're a UFC fan in Montreal. There's not been a live show there in a decade, and then this is the card that they bring to you? Look, again, it turned out great. Not saying it's bad, but on paper, if I'm spending like $4,000 for fucking tickets, I'm just saying. Anyway, the card saw 12 fights with 3 KO, TKOs, 2 submissions, 7 decisions, for a total cage time of 2 hours, 23 minutes, 12 seconds. Favorites ended up with 8 wins on the night, and the underdogs, are you surprised, had 4 victories. That said, if you chose Jazz Divisius to sub Andrade in the first round, then oh boy did you have yourself a winner, because that was a plus 1100 outcome, at least on FanDuel. Nice. I hate saying this, but a bit of a nothing short notice fight between BDS and Kyle Prepelic, unfortunately, but the walk was made by both men, and Saint-Denis got his 3rd career arm triangle choke victory, his first in the UFC. Give that man the Clocked In award. Natalia Silva's on fire right now. She hasn't lost a fight since 2018. I haven't done anything consistently since 2018, let alone winning MMA fights. 7 in a row in the UFC. Silva's on her way to some gold. Tougher stat, Alexa Grasso has now lost 11 of her last 13 rounds in the cage, with her last 2 losses being clean sweeps. Tough times for the former champ. Well, if Jose Aldo is indeed done after the Ariel Helwani fight last night, he'll walk away with 42 total bouts, 32 wins, the most defenses in UFC featherweight history with 7. Those were consecutive, also a record. 11 total featherweight title bouts, stacked 2 WEC defenses in there when the division was the same, just a different organization, and give that man the Living Legend award. Thank you for the good times, King of Rio. Speaking of GOATs, Fyodor Shevchenko added another defense to her career total at 125. That makes 8. Her last 12 fights in a row have been championship bouts, going back to 2018, which is insane. And finally, JDM becomes champion in just his 8th ever UFC bout. He is unbeaten in the UFC, of course. Perth's got a champ. What a performance. Outstruck Belal 200 to 155, stuffed 6 of 9 takedowns. Bring on Islam. 315's in the books, folks. We made it. Huge thank you and a big high five to Max Randall. He always edits these autopsies so fast and so good, and he's the reason you have a video right now. So please show him some love on his socials and check out his YouTube page. It's great. Another huge thanks to our channel members as well. You legends keep the lights on. I cannot thank you enough. Fight fans, hit the join button to become a member too. There's one low price. You can't beat it, but you can get exclusive content. Like and subscribe because we do these after every single pay-per-view event. Give me all your 315 thoughts in the comments. I love reading them. Sometimes I even comment back if I'm feeling froggy. And thanks for watching, guys. See you for 316. Oh, hell yeah.